Is Pathfinder 2nd Edition a combat game? Hey everyone, Utkarsh from Spirit Bell Games here. Some have claimed that Pathfinder 2nd Edition has a singular focus, which is combat. The justifications for this is often, well, why would the game have so many more rules for combat than other aspects of it if combat was not important? Why would combat be so zoomed in and take so much time at the table if this were not a combat game? Now, my answer to both of these questions is that combat is more detailed and takes longer because there's more at stake when combat takes place. Usually, it is a matter of life and death, and for a decision that important, it makes sense to spend more time thinking through the decision making. However, Pathfinder also emphasizes tactics in combat. It has tactical combat. So there is a good reason to say that yes, Pathfinder is combat focused. Now, if you are convinced that Pathfinder 2nd Edition is a combat game, that combat is central to it, that its main focus is combat, then you likely believe that everything outside of combat is skill rolls based off of vibes. Now, we know that a lot of non-combat procedures in Pathfinder 2nd Edition are not based on vibes, that there are specific mechanics given to exploration activities, or how to earn money in downtime, or how to craft items. But even with that, a good argument can be made that all of those still feed into combat, that the most important use of crafting is to make items for combat, that exploration activities are all there to get ready to get into combat or to not be taken unaware of a combat or a hazard that might occur with combat. So to truly talk about non-combat procedures in Pathfinder 2nd Editions, ones that don't feed right back into combat, we need to talk about subsystems as described by the GM core. Subsystems are procedures for negotiating chases, exploration, which is hex crawls, infiltration, influence. Oh, are we at number 4 now? Yeah. Chases, hex crawls, infiltration, influence, research, leadership, like running a faction, reputation, which is your reputation with a faction, and vehicles. I believe I've got all of them. I should just quickly double check. Duels. I was missing duels, but duels are combat, so let's skip duels. The presence of these non-combat subsystems would imply that Pathfinder 2nd Edition is more than just a combat game, that it has all of these different ways, levers, systems, procedures of interacting with aspects of the game that are not combat. But many people push back on these subsystems. They don't like it. They don't like the different subsystems. And if you are one of them, I would love to know why. Please let me know in the comments why. I can take a couple of guesses, but I want to know how close or far I am from the mark. So I have 3 guesses on why people don't like the subsystems, and some of these are also my reasons for being tepid on some aspects of them. The first reason could be that you see Pathfinder 2nd Edition as a combat game, and so it sort of perplexes you why these subsystems are there in a game that just is a combat game. The second reason might be because you believe that Pathfinder 2nd Edition should be a combat game, that it should focus on just the combat aspects because those are the ones that are the most tactical, they have the most options, we get the most zoomed in and spend the largest amount of time at the table on combats. So maybe you feel that because Pathfinder 2nd Edition should be a combat game, no GM should run subsystems. In this case, you're not perplexed about the presence of subsystems. You just see what the designers are trying to do and you say that this is superfluous to the game. The third reasoning is that you are okay with Pathfinder 2nd Edition being more than just a combat game, but you do not see subsystems as rich enough to be conceived as core to the system or sufficiently core to make them real, to give them presence. Like, you may see that yes, these subsystems exist, but maybe there's not enough character building support to interact with these subsystems, or that the decision making space within these subsystems is not large enough for them to be considered meaningful. So, all right, I should lay my cards on the table. I think Pathfinder 2nd Edition is more than just a combat game, but I also find some missed opportunities with the subsystems which prevent them from feeling as meaningful as combat does. So I do not see subsystems as perfect, but I do still see them as integral. And I personally have two annoyances with these subsystems. One is minor and one is major. The minor annoyance is the use of the word points. I guess I'm just so used to hit points being points that I don't think of them as points, like a game tally. Whereas when subsystems say you earn influence points, or you earn infiltration points, or you earn research points, the fact that that word points is there, it annoys me, it grates at me, it pulls me out of the immersion. And the fix for that on the GM side for me is very easy. I just remove that word. That's it. You earn 2 influence with this character. You have gained 4 leadership for your faction. Just taking out the word points and keeping the numbers is enough for me to go back right into the immersion of the game. But my major annoyance is the lack of character building options for interacting with the subsystems. Specifically, I think that the skill feats are a hugely missed opportunity because they do not explicitly interact with the subsystems. And I think that disconnect between skill feats just helping you out with the vibes and skill rolls part of the game, and subsystems being these strong procedures but completely unaffected by skill feats in most cases, that disconnect is what makes me think that subsystems were an afterthought, whereas skill feats were designed to be integral. It doesn't help that skill feats are present in the player core, whereas subsystems are present in the GM core, where a lot of things in GM core often seem like, hey, GM, if you want to use these, you may. But I also have noticed that many adventure paths have been incorporating the different subsystems. So I think what Paizo should do is start explicitly linking skill feats with subsystems. Now, because I have no control over what the Paizo Pathfinder development team does, all I can do is on my side, I can homebrew to connect existing skill feats to existing subsystems and hope that these character building options give players more actionable levers to pull, and that makes them more engaged in these subsystems. Down in the links below, you will find a Google Doc which provides a proposal from me that has a bunch of skill feats and how they could tie explicitly to the influence subsystem. This is the one that I'm starting with as a proof of concept and seeing if there is interest in developing more of it. Also, I will be trying it out in my own games and see if it creates more engagement with my players. Check that document out and let me know your thoughts. There's an extended version of this video on my Patreon for free. You don't have to pay anything, that you can check out, where I dive into how I connect those specific skill feats to the specific subsystem, influence in this case, and I will be talking about my design rationale behind it. Let me know what you think about subsystems in general and what you think about the document and the attempt to tie existing skill feats with subsystems. For now, this is me signing off, wishing you all engaging games.